right, today we're going to dive right into a topic that came up. Of course, you know, there's always a story. Came up with several clients actually, and so I want to share. And it's about taking on a client that is not necessarily your dream ideal client, but it will create a nice foundation for you while you are building, or if you're in a growth phase. What I really am talking about is like when you are in a stage of growth. Maybe you've decided you want to change your packaging. Maybe you've decided you are ready to change the position in your market from a general copywriter to only writing sales pages for conversion, right? And there's this period, and I will give you the exact example is a client who is really transitioning more into the tech VA, high-end tech launch integration role. But she was approached to take on a retainer-based client that was doing a little bit more of the VA style tasks, some social media management, and some other things, right? But not necessarily in the tech world, but all things that she could do. And she was asking, like, should I take them on, even though they're not necessarily like ideal what I'm doing now? And this was the same situation for another client who was transitioning, okay, to a different role, different position in the market, right? And my answer is maybe, right? But one of the clients that I dealt with said to me, I feel like if I take her on, I'm keeping myself safe and in my comfort zone. And I know that I need to move beyond my comfort zone. Okay. Now, you know, I am always here to push you outside of your comfort zone. However, I will never, ever, ever tell you to push yourself so far out of your comfort zone that it affects you financially, right? We all have bills to pay. We have a family to support. We have mouths to feed. We have, mortgages or rents to pay, right? I will never tell you to not take on a client if it means that you're going to have your mortgage available, right? So I call this like keeping a foundational base, right? And some key things you need to think about. Like if you are in this position where maybe you're transitioning and you're deciding which clients do I keep on, which clients do I not keep on, like ask yourself these questions, okay? These are the questions I want you to ask yourself if you're thinking about this. Do you like this client? Like, are they really easy to work with? Do you love everything about them? Do you enjoy it? One of the clients I was working with, she's like, Michelle, I love working with her. And although my role is with her is not going to be at the tech and OBM role, but I love working with her. It's consistent income. She pays her bills on time. We have a great working relationship. She knows how I work. I know how right? Like, why would you give that up, right? Until your schedule gets to a point where you no longer can, there's absolutely no room and you have to make that crucial decision. But if you have the time and capacity to keep somebody on that you love, or like even if somebody new comes your way and they're like, you just love them, even though it's not necessarily like that ideal client of what you're trying to build, but it's an opportunity for you to create like consistent income, like think about that, like, because it's about take the financial pressure off, right? As long as it's not capping you to where you have no room to take on your ideal clients, then I say go for it. Like, it's not about, that's not staying safe. That's being smart. That's being responsible. Like, you have a business to run and bills to pay. Like, that's being responsible. It's not a bad thing, okay? The other question I would say is like, do you like the work you're doing? So if a client is coming to you and they're asking you to stay on board, like, are they having you do tasks that you don't enjoy? If you are doing tasks for them that you don't enjoy and you don't want to do it, then maybe it's not worth keeping them on for the foundational reoccurring income, right? Like, there's no point in continuing to do something you don't enjoy unless you absolutely you have to have the money. But there's always room for like a new client. So if you release them because you're doing tasks that you don't enjoy, you can take on somebody new, right? It opens up room in your schedule to take on somebody different. And then like, does this leave you time to get those dream clients, right? So going back to the example with the client, it was like a 20-hour a month retainer. And she has right now probably about 40 to 50 hours a month available. So yes, this client was going to take up 20 hours a month, but it's 20 hours a month of consistent recurring revenue. And it allowed her 30 hours available to build and get those dreamy tech integration really hone in on that new niche and really get comfortable with it and really decide where she wanted to go with it, all while still having this foundational base to keep her kind of going. And so when it becomes that point where you are getting known as the expert in this new field and you've got referrals coming in and you're getting to a point of fully booked, then that's when you have to look at whether or not it's time to release that client, right? And can you help transition them out? Can they come up? Can they move up with you? Is there opportunity for them to be in the new space that you are in? There's a lot of factors here, but my most important key factor that I really want to tell you is, like, don't feel bad about it, right? Don't feel like you're keeping yourself in your safe space by taking on a client that maybe isn't like 100% your dreamiest, most, amazing client, but it's allowing you to take the pressure off while you're in a stage of growth. That's responsibility. That's creating foundational income. That's not at all, just like hiding. I don't view it that way. I had another client who scaled. She was scaling and moving her business away from retainer to VIP days. Okay. She kept a lot of her retainer clients on until her VIP days were booked out so much that she really didn't have time. And then she transitioned them. Some of them converted to VIP days once a month, right? So instead of being like 20 hours on retainer, it was one VIP day a month. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes they can transition with you, but sometimes they don't. And that's okay. And then the conversation is, hey, I've decided to change my business model, but I'd be happy to help you find somebody that can take this on for you. Like, there's really great ways that you can make that transition very easily, but don't cut yourself short, right? Don't add stress to yourself by putting this financial burden on yourself by like eliminating all your clients while you try to grow something brand new. No, if you have clients and you love working with them, keep them. Keep them until the time comes when you absolutely can't. Okay? Don't let some of this other noise in the industry let you think that's wrong. Personal opinion as always, but I'm always here to take the pressure off, right? Like, we want to build businesses that we enjoy. We want to build businesses that we love. We want to build businesses that we're excited to show up about. And if you have a client that you love working with and it brings you joy, don't get rid of them unless you absolutely have to. Like, I don't care. Even if you're transitioning, yes, growth requires change, but you can keep them along through the transition for quite a while. Okay. I hope this was helpful. I really feel it came up quite a bit, so I wanted to share it and talk about it. But if you have questions or you're not really sure, always reach out. Join my Facebook group. Let's talk about it, because I've been doing a lot of live Q&As in there based on some of these podcast episodes. So if you have a question and you want me to answer it, pop in there, drop your question, and I'll answer it live. All right, I'll talk to you soon.